Hey guys, Torful Snort here. Yeah, my name's Torful Snort now, guys. So, I'm gonna talk about something that you might or might not enjoy. Depends on how you look at the situation. And I'm gonna be making a video of me talking about the Nintendo Switch Online. This is going to be a great topic to cover in a video. My comment section's totally fucked. And I don't know if this is the best idea in the world because of the fact that if you look at the video of the clip from the Direct that Nintendo uploaded onto the YouTube page, which I will provide a little image right around here-ish, because why wouldn't I? And you will see that there's a difference in likes and dislikes. And it's very clear that people don't like this service, probably due to a number of reasons. So without further ado, I'm probably going to die because of doing this video. But let's get to me talking about 2 of the 5 things that are affiliated with the Nintendo Switch Online. What are the ones I'm not doing? Well, I'm not doing the latter 3. The latter 3 are cloud saving, the smartphone app, and exclusive special offers. I'm not showing cloud saving because it's cloud saving. I shouldn't need to explain it, but I'll explain it anyway for people that are 5 years old. Because there's bound to be someone that age range that's watching this video right now. I'm not going to be talking about the smartphone app because it's Skype and or Discord. Pick which one that you like better. And then dummy down to about 10% of what its main features can do. And the exclusive offers right now, and the special offers and the special offers at the time of me recording this are only known to be the NES controllers, which are $60 by the way. And that's a good deal apparently. I don't know, I might get them. But without further ado, let's get into seeing how horrible or good this service is. I'm expecting the worst from this stupid membership.
Nintendo Switch Online. Oh boy, this is gonna be a rough trip. But first, I'm gonna show you something idiotic that I said when I started up Puyo Puyo Tetris to go on an online match.
Tetris.
Yeah, we do not talk about what we just saw. But what you're definitely seeing is the fact that because Nintendo Switch Online came out, no one, and I mean no one, wanted to play even Puyo Puyo Tetris. And that quote right there sums up my feelings. I am not kidding about that either. After a couple of minutes, I completely gave up hope and decided I should try Uno. Because a lot of people do like Uno, especially considering it's on the PS4 and Xbox One, and there's a lot of people that play Uno online. Is what I thought would be the case. Even on Uno, no one wanted to play. I was in a normal match, with none of the house rules on, something that a lot of people like to join randomly, and yet, as I hover over that second player option, and take a capture, because I have no idea why I thought of doing that, there is no one that wanted to join, and I completely gave up so much hope, I decided to go to Fortnite. So is there anything different about Fortnite on Switch with Nintendo Switch Online? Short answer, no, because Fortnite, along with, I believe, Paladins, to my knowledge, I'll add a little text thing depending on if it's true or not, Fortnite and maybe Paladins are the only games that are completely free from being affected by Nintendo Switch Online because the games are too popular and they're free. So they decided to make the online capabilities with these games free, especially Fortnite. I can see why they do this, but it's extremely dumb. So I'm just gonna spend this time to talk about the online in general. So the online play, it kind of blows, because not that many people decided to get the membership, or even get the 7-day free trial. The only games that are free from this are Fortnite and Paladins, to my knowledge. Seriously, this is a problem. Not that many people wanted to get this, and not very many people cared, and not very many people just decided to pay for the online. So you can't even play games that are online aside from certain games like this, because they're free to play, and Nintendo still wants to appease to those 5-year-olds that are playing a teen-rated game that probably shouldn't be playing it. Whatever. Time to go to the next thing, which is the NES games that come with your membership. And these are not that bad as little extras that you can use. I will be talking about each of the games separately, so we'll start with a classic, because why not? Super Mario Bros. That's all I need to say. This game is good enough. The original Mario Bros. Is also included. Even though it's on the arcade archives, it's also here, and I don't mind it. It's not really that bad of a game, even though it isn't like the other Mario game I talked about for about 4 seconds. But I will admit, the arcade version of this game is much better than this NES version, but I don't mind it being here again. Super Mario Bros. 3, a great threequel, even though the sequel was kind of weird, a giant secret landmine, and there's no save feature. Even on the Japanese version, there's no save feature. That's all I have to say. The game is really good, and this one is definitely also worth it. Dr. Mario is a strange one. Again, it's nice to see it here, but preferably, I am more of a Puyo Puyo and a Tetris guy, so I'd rather like to see the Famicom port of Puyo Puyo or the NES port of Tetris than this. But alas, I do love Dr. Mario, and Dr. Mario is still one of my favorites, so you can like whatever you want. Please, don't attack me because you have an opinion. But I do love Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario is fun. I already beat a level in this game, so let's already move on to the next game already. The original Donkey Kong is also here. Again, even though it's from the arcade archives and I do have that version, I don't really mind it being here. It's still a classic, and again, I don't mind it being here, but like with Mario Brothers, I just prefer the arcade version. This game is fun no matter which version you play, though, unlike Mario Brothers, where you can definitely tell that there's better quality if you play the arcade version. Let's just move on to a bigger game now. The Legend of Zelda. Whoo boy, this game. A bold and revolutionary game telling the story of Link, this elf-looking dude that you see on screen that has the green on, that has to go to the 8 dungeons to get the 8 pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom to save the Princess Zelda, despite you playing as Link. Yeah, there is confusion of the title still, and save her from the evil Ganon, or as I like to call him now, Ganondorf. The game might be shorter than most Zeldas nowadays, but the game is still revered as a great game, one of the greatest NES games of all time, and thank God we got a save feature for this one. Yoshi, which is actually a weird puzzle game in the vein of Tetris and Puyo Puyo. And I'm not kidding. Look at those options. Seriously, pause on them. I'm too lazy to edit that. Just look at the options. They look almost exactly like the NES Tetris's little tiny options that you can have before you start a game. But this game is actually kind of weird. Instead of you having to pop lines or create chains out of Puyos, you have to make sure that you have the bottom shell of a Yoshi egg on the exact bottom of a field, or as low as you can get it. Then you have to put monsters on top of that egg. And you can actually pop monsters by having 2 monsters, like a Goomba on top of a Goomba. Yeah. Like I said, this game is extremely weird. And then you need to have the top layer of a Yoshi egg go down on the bottom layer once there are monsters above it. And the more monsters, the bigger the Yoshi. And the biggest Yoshis you can get is that if you have only 1 space before you can get killed. Which makes the game extremely risky, but extremely worth it at the exact same time. This game is really good, but it's not the best puzzle game, and again, I'd rather include Tetris on the NES. Unfortunately, it's kind of licensed. Ice Climber, the gripping tale of what is currently happening on the screen. Your vegetables get taken by a pterodactyl to the top of a mountain, and this little dude in Eskimo has to go get them back. This is one of the best concepts for a video game I've ever seen in my entire life. Still, this game has its charms, and I can't hate it, no matter how bad the controls are for this one. Balloon Fight. A game where you fight with balloons. This game is already a 10 out of 10. This game is not bad. But I will say this game is definitely unique. Sure, that's the right word for it. Baseball. It's baseball for the NES. I am not kidding. Look at the gameplay. Just look at it. It's baseball. Excitebike is a biking game. As you being a bike racer, you have to go through many tracks in both solo and going up against other racers in these super cool, high-tech cyclist tracks covered in mud and random platforms. At least you can customize your own tracks. That's about it. Ice hockey is actually pretty good, but I wouldn't recommend it to any schmo who just only has one player to play with, because this is definitely designed to be a two-player game, much like all the other sports titles you're going to be seeing here in a sec. Again, it's not bad, but it could be way better. It is kind of fun, I will give it that. Pro Wrestling. This is a game that you would play the oof sound to, and it would make total sense. I almost didn't even get the controls of this game. You press the A button to kick, you press the B button to punch. Simple, right? Well, this game kind of controls like garbage anyway. Let me just move on to the next one before I have a coronary. Soccer. And, even though it's a soccer game, and it seems like it might be okay, unfortunately, this game ain't no Super Mario Strikers by any means in hell. All I can say is that this game earns the resounding sound of meh. Tennis is actually not that bad. I'm being serious. It's actually not bad at all. It has multiple levels of customizing the difficulty of your enemy. It's not that bad, and the doubles game is surprisingly a really good, even if it is a little robust, two-player mode. And I'll give this game much more than a meh. It's actually pretty good. But don't be fooled, you must stay with the Game Boy Tennis. It's much better! The last 5 games that are included here are all third-party titles, and here's Ghosts and Goblins to start it off. The tale of you and your girlfriend about to do it in the cemetery when, oh no, your girlfriend gets taken. So what do? You put on armor, and you go spear anything that is in your way. I do like this game. I really do. It's made by Capcom. How could you really not? But there's one thing that's keeping it from being the best thing ever. It's something called overly difficult. This game is good, and I won't say that it's as hard as Dark Souls or Cuphead, but it is definitely harder than Mega Man, I'll tell you that. Gradius, and oh man, does this one make up for the last game. It isn't anything like Galaga, but it is still really good, and it's similar to another NES game called Life Force that's also by Konami. And thank God that this is included, because this is also on the NES Classic, and this game is really good. Super fun, super challenging, and of course, you can become overpowered in this game, and that's what makes this game even better. So, yeah, I'm just glad it's here. Let's move on to the weirder third-party games. Double Dragon is an interesting fighting game. And you start by pressing the select button instead of the start button. That's fun. And here's the story. Your girlfriend gets punched. And so what do? Why, obviously, you change the graphics to a Game Boy game, of course. The game might seem slow at first, but that's okay, because this is just one of those simple side-scrolling fighting games. And the game is still really fun. But there is another one that's included with the NES Online. This game is called Select Game Mode and Character. But really, let's be serious here. With a guy named Slick stealing Ryan's girlfriend, Ryan and his friend Alex set out to save her, and this begins the story of River City Ransom. And I was actually surprised to see that this was a part of the collection. The game plays almost exactly like Double Dragon. The game has a cartoony look, but really, every game on the NES almost had a cartoony look. And it just seems a little too similar to Double Dragon, in my opinion. I know I already said that, and I sound like a broken record, but the game seems way too similar to Double Dragon to include. So why is it here? I have no idea. That's Nintendo's decision. But at least there's multiple differences. You can eat in this version, and you can actually, regain health and stuff, and I'm saying and that's not really helping my case. You can run in this game, you can throw items just like in Double Dragon, like this board that I'm currently holding, and all the coins that you see getting picked up by my character is actually pieces of money that you can use to buy gear, or more importantly, food. But still, it's a fun time, and now I think it's off to the last game. I'm gonna give you a serious ear warning, I am not kidding. Tecmo Bowl is the last game that was launched by the start, and naturally it's another sports game, but not anything that you would know. I'm, again, gonna give you a simple warning, turn your volume down, because the game is FOOTBALL! Yeah! I am so sorry, I will never do that again. But seriously though, Tecmo Bowl is actually pretty good. As you can clearly see, Tecmo Bowl, aside from my screaming, is a football-based game. And I picked the Seahawks because I'm in Washington. Don't judge me. I like to vote for my home team. And you can also pick many different kinds of contingency plans to go along with it, like running and passing the ball, or trying to intercept it so that you can get to the other enemy's end zone. Apologies to anybody who's in Britain or the UK. I shall now call it Pigskin. But aside from that, Tecmo Bowl is the last game in the entirety of the 20 launch games that you get for the NES online. And I think I will just mention one extra little thing that I thought was a little funny. The Great Seizure Protection. The best thing Nintendo could do when they made these games. Oh boy. And I also hope you guys enjoyed. Follow my socials, subscribe, like, comment, and I'm not going to talk about the Clive